Welcome to the Fearfic Podcast. Fearfic is the term for short horror fiction, mostly posted on the web. It includes any and all related subgenres. Join three assholes talking basement goo Slimebeast, inebriated interstellar traveler Abysmii, and irritable ghostly man-horde Dead Palette, as they read all stories horror and internet-related, paragraph by paragraph, and bullshit while they do it. From adolescent revenge fantasies to subtle postmodern narratives about real-life events and everything in between, they read it and critique. You better believe it. Kick it to the cold open, white boy.
Okay, so I have a little bit of a legal issue, and I need some legal advice from my lawyer, Abysmii.
Mm-hmm.
So, Abysmii, certified lawyer, can you give me some legal advice?
Number one, you don't certify as a lawyer, you get barred as a lawyer. Number two, not a lawyer, so no, but go ahead and ask your question.
So you haven't been barred from being a lawyer.
Right.
And so there was somebody who was, I think they were breaking the law. And so I put them under citizen's arrest, and they're in my basement. And I haven't let them out for a month.
Mm-hmm.
What are the chances that I could get in trouble for kidnapping?
100%.
Now, I feel, Abysmii, I know that you're the lawyer here, and I'm just a layman, but I feel like you're not asking any questions here. I feel like it's important to determine some things. First of all,
It can't be that clear cut.
Age of lawbreaker.
Yeah, well, it can be. Because citizen's arrest, and my criminal law knowledge is very, very weak, but there's a difference between arresting and detaining. I don't think you're allowed to detain people as a private citizen. I'm actually looking at the penal code right now.
DP, did you read this person their rights?
I said, come with me. Your opinions are bad, and I can't let you be free.
Who allegedly do you have locked in your basement?
Allegedly, might be a famous fighting game player who said that my Shiranui shouldn't be in Smash.
Who?
Said that my favorite character from SNK should not be in Super Smash Brothers.
Okay.
And so that's a crime in my book.
So, is Abysmii going to the prison cellar because he didn't know who it was?
Final question. Have they themselves demanded a lawyer?
That'd be difficult.
Difficult as in difficult for you to recall? Or
they haven't been talking a whole lot on account of a general lack of respiration.
Well, then not only have you interfered with their bodily functions, you've interfered with their ability to seek counsel, which is very much a right. So yeah, you're probably going to jail, but more on a technicality than anything.
I didn't. They have just decided to not breathe anymore.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. So what happened was they got into a conversation with you.
And
and then they decided they'd rather die.
You know how you decide to remain silent?
Mm-hmm.
They have just taken that to an extreme.
I see. So, Abysmii, what is the law? Is there a law against murder?
Yes.
But it's got to be a misdemeanor, right?
It's felony.
Oh.
What if it was just negligence?
Then that would be a tort, but you'd still be in trouble.
Whoa! Wow! Nobody said anything. Nobody said anything about DP murdering a tort. Plus, they're called streetwalkers. Please, they're called sex workers. Sorry.
I just negligently discharged a bullet aimed at their head.
Yeah. Okay. All we have to
that'd
do
be manslaughter then, which you're still in trouble for.
So if DP is in trouble, because you're saying murder is a crime and you're saying it's not a misdemeanor, so
which I'm not sure that he's right on that.
Yeah, who knows? But let's say that he is right. DP, I think you're going to have to wait out the statute of limitations on murder. So Abysmii, how long is that?
Let me look it up. Actually, I'm curious. I'm going to look it up for manslaughter. Okay. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt
What
here.
is the statute of limitations on killing another human being?
I'm
going to guess like a year.
Oof. Well, looks like 6 to 8
days.
Yeah.
Years.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So wait a minute. What you're telling our audience is that you can go out and manslaughter somebody, and as long as you don't get caught in 6 years, you're free?
I wouldn't use that exact phrasing, but I would say that if they don't catch you in 6 to 8 years, you're doing something right.
Jesus Christ.
You're such a good criminal attorney.
Criminal is like the one I know the least about.
So, for anybody out there, I do want to make a note, though, that you have to wait another 6 years for each additional murder. You can't just, like, kill somebody and then, be like, after 6 years, I'll be off the hook for all these additional serial killings.
No, every time you kill someone, the clock resets, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, for that alleged murder, each will be taken as a different count.
Think of it as a first-person shooter cooldown.
No, you're getting it wrong because Abysmii is clearly basing this off of California law. There's no law against manslaughter in Ohio.
Oh.
Really? No way.
I think manslaughter in Ohio is just called mercy killing.
Everyone in California will die of pollution, though, so it's fine.
Yeah. Abysmii, is it illegal to kill someone via pollution?
Yes.
Sure.
Sure.
We should
that's
everyone.
Why the EPA exists, number one. Well, that's not the original reason why the EPA exists, but that's kind
EPA bangs down your door. Open up, it's the EPA. And they just point guns at you.
You say that, but they do actually have... They have squads who are basically outfitted like SWAT members who will like target pot farms and other shit. I don't know if it's still happening, but that has happened.
So they're basically SWAT, but they have like I don't know, what do they have? Just air freshener instead of mace?
If you spell air freshener AR-15, then yes, I guess they do.
They have WD-40, you said?
Mm-hmm. And they light it on fire and burn down your pot farms.
Let me freshen up your air. It's important to remind everyone that Abysmii is a lawyer from outer space. Mm-hmm. He is an alien, and he is a practitioner of alien law.
So that's why I'm not barred in any of the Earth courts, because they don't recognize the centuries and centuries I've been practicing alien law.
Right.
So I just refuse to go through their bullshit process because I shouldn't have to.
Is there an intergalactic statute of limitations? I don't know.
I mean, there will be at some point, because there's already a lot of arguments about like what happens on the ISS, and like there was that one astronaut who did an acoustic cover of a song, and there's entire articles written about, well, did he have the license to do that? Does he need a license to do that? Does it depend on who's viewing the cover where? It's fucking insane.
Space law,
man.
DMCAing the space station. Just the pull back.
It just crashes to Earth.
Pulled back shot and it just explodes.
Bring him down. Get him down here.
Miss Wojcicki.
You got a hearing date in 3 weeks.
I want that thing fucking flagged.
The Google Space Program.
You can telephonically appear for certain hearings, so they could just like Skype in, I guess.
So what happens on the ISS stays on the ISS is essentially what you're saying.
No. Yes. What happens on the ISS gets eventually leaked, and then people argue about it for a long time.
Gasp. What's going to happen when we have the first people go to Mars, and then they pull some American Revolution shit on us?
Well, that's what I mean. Like, an intergalactic law will have to be set up once we get fucking colonies and shit on the moon.
Yeah, but I mean...
all that.
So much for British law keeping America in check. Mars will just be like, we're dumping all of your freeze-dried cotton candy into the oceans of Mars, you know?
They could completely dispense with English common law as the basis for their legal framework. They could.
There goes all your fucking space tea out the hatch.
Guys, would it be martial law?
Yes, because that is the namesake for martial law.
The planet Mars.
It actually would be martial law, you're right.
Martial law.
Martial common law.
Marsha
Okay,
loves my dick. What?
cool. End of cold open, because
No.
that went for fucking ever.
I love how DP, before the show, DP was like, I have an idea for a really quick cold open. It'll only take a few seconds.
These are not things that were uttered. I
Hope
did not
everybody
say-
likes when they ask me about legal questions and they get a bunch of boring information for 20 minutes. You're welcome.
Abysmii.
No,
Abysmii
we
isn't
learned
legal.
about space law.
Oh.
We learned about actual space law. What the fuck do you mean boring?
That's right. Abysmii, is it legal to shove your hand up someone's ass if it's for the purpose of puppetry, which is the arts? That would fall under, like, maybe fair use?
If it's a puppet, it's perfectly legal. If it's a person and they're not consenting, then no.
What if
What
they're
if the puppet doesn't consent?
You would have to prove that in a court of law.
What? Okay, Mr. Puppet, please show us on the other puppet where you were touched.
Please show us on a human where they touched you.
What if you have a
They
puppet?
bring in like a naked dude, just have him stand.
Okay, what if you have
It's just like, what am I supposed to do? Shut up, John, you're a puppet.
Bailiff, bring him in.
What would happen if you had a puppet? You put your hand up inside the puppet, and you make the puppet say, I don't consent.
You would
Then what?
still have to prove that the puppet has standing, which it doesn't.
What if
Mostly because it can't stand
What
up.
if it's a marionette?
No. The puppet is like one of the puppets from like the R.L. Stein books, and
Yeah.
it does have sentience, so it does have standing.
You would still have to come up with appropriate case law, and that's a novel concept, so you'd pretty much have to go to the
My
Supreme
case is
Court.
R.L. Stein, Abysmii.
That's not case law.
Let's get R.L. Stein written into law.
In the case
If
of
you can get
RL,
someone to quote R.L. Stein in a case, then fine. But unless you can find that for me, I don't think that'll work.
I'm no big city R.L. Stein lawyer.
I'm no big
Are You
city
Afraid of the
ventriloquist
Dark?
dummy. All right.
Okay.
So our
My
story is
sugar
about
daddy.
dummies or space, or what is it
Uh,
about that this cold
It's
open
none
is
of those
related?
things.
My sugar dummy asked me for weird flavors.
Damn it.
A certain flavor.
My sugar daddy asks me for weird favors written by on No Sleep by Yapatab.
This is the new top-rated No Sleep story of all time.
Mm-hmm.
By thousands of upvotes, actually. It's
Right.
actually kind of surpassing the previous one quite quickly.
Right. And it was written 22 days ago, for October, for Spooktober.
Which is interesting, that this is a No Sleep story, number one, that doesn't have a stupid-ass title for the most part.
It is not a great title, but it's not a bad one.
It's
Yeah.
still a
It's
little
not a
bit
no-sleep
clickbaity, but
title.
not overboard clickbait.
Here's the thing, though, is I get the feeling, oh man, I could write a story like this, obviously, and
And
I
it would
could
be
write
true.
a story like this.
no, I could write a story of this variety, not of this quality. I don't know what quality the story will have,
Mhm.
but what I'm getting at is that I hope that from like the first two sentences we get in the story that it delivers on its promises of something interesting, because it is a curious premise, and maybe we should just go ahead and get into it.
Mm-hmm.
Ma.
His Tinder profile said he was 45, but he looked to be in his early 30s. Fucking out.
His name was Earl Thurley.
And he wanted me to give him swirlies. He looked to be in his early 30s at most. Looking for a sugar baby. 700 weekly. No sex.
Damn.
Okay, now I'm just picturing he's looking for like a small animal. I want to buy a sugar baby.
It can be a sugar baby.
Like
It
a bush
sounded
baby
too-
and a sugar glider. I don't know.
You know what? Actually, that's only $33,600 a year, so that's great for a part-time job. But you're gonna have to, the self-employment on that's gonna be fucking bullshit as far as taxes.
Well, not if you're like living with them. If you're living rent-free and then getting 700 weekly, that's pretty okay.
What is
Do you have to declare it? Well, if you don't declare it as income, you have to declare it as a gift, and I don't know what the threshold is for that.
what is the
This is prostitution, Abysmii.
What is
Prostitution's legal in parts of the country.
Are we
This is valid.
introducing prostitution Abysmii?
Prostitute.
Family values, prostitution, Abysmii. It sounded too good to be true, but as a broke university student, I was willing to take my chances. I swiped right, and Tinder let me know it was a match. His message came seconds later.
Hey there, sweetheart. Smiley face. I cringed at that word. I hated it, but $700 was $700. So I sucked it up, phrasing, and replied, Hey, winky face. His name was Jack, and he told me he owned his own business, although he never specified what kind of business it was. We talked for a while before he asked me for my Venmo to send me the first payment.
Venmo. After a few minutes, I got the notification. I stared at the $700 for at least 20 minutes, expecting to wake up from a dream at any second. You poor, poor girl. But it wasn't a dream. You still there? I clicked on the message. Yeah, sorry. If you don't mind me asking, what are you looking for in return? I stared at the chat until he replied.
Okay. So I have to hand it to this girl. She got the 700
Girl?
before.
Girl?
Is it not? Oh, I thought it was stated.
Nope.
No, my bad.
Gender assuming Abysmii.
I know I'm terrible.
And by that I mean he assumes different genders.
Mm-hmm.
And actually he assumes one gender, male, but he keeps assuming it.
At will. I have to hand it to the pro tag. They got the 700 before discussing terms. They could just take this shit and run if they really wanted to.
That's right.
But hey.
Take a shit and run. Not the worst thing to be paid for.
It's my favorite Oscar-winning movie. Take a shit and run.
It's a claymation movie. It's a sequel to Chicken Run. I say, someone seems to have taken a shit and run.
Put your shit into your hand and run away with it.
That was a disturbingly good impression of the actors from Chicken Run.
Okay, so the reply of what you want in return. I'm just looking for you to do a few favors for me, smiley face. Okay.
Oh, someone just fell into Hotline Miami, apparently.
Oh, no.
That sounded like it was going to be sexual to me. Like what? For example, the first thing I need you to do is pick up a delivery for me.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, this might be Hotline Miami.
This is just Hotline Miami so far, which I'm not opposed to. It's a good game.
What was the story? What was the title of the story again? Let me see. My sugar daddy asked me for weird favors over a hotline in Miami. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For those that don't know, like Slimebeast, as I'm assuming at this moment, in Hotline Miami, you get calls to do things, and it involves doing violence.
Listen, I understand there's a chicken mask.
There is, and it's called Richter.
Okay.
And fans are fairly certain that it's Andy Richter from Conan O'Brien. That sounded innocent enough, but I wasn't expecting there to be some. But I was expecting there to. But I was still expecting there to be some kind of twist. $700 to pick up a package? Come on, I wasn't that naive.
I mean, what would be your first? Okay, let's go round the room. Somebody asks you to pick up a package and deliver it to them for money. What do you think is in the package, DP? Not like what is the most imaginative. Like what would you immediately assume?
Drugs. That would be my first assumption.
Okay, me too. So we're all in agreement that it would immediately set up alarms, red flags, if you will, that it was something like drugs. But okay.
It's not going to be information, because there's easier, cheaper ways to covertly send that stuff now. So it has to be some type of contraband that needs to be in physical form.
Like,
you know what?
Drugs, probably.
You know what I figured?
Black Book.
Yeah. So I'm figuring out what I don't like about the title. My sugar daddy asked me for weird favors. All of these titles always imply that this shit's still ongoing. I bet we're going to get to the end of this, and the story will have concluded.
I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know.
But if we're going under the assumption that this person is just being naive, then that's fine. But we need it somehow explained to us in story that our narrator is stupid.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, they have already said that they're desperate, which is fine. However,
you're going to get scammed. Like you're going to end up worse off.
You know what would be a good line?
What?
I had anticipated having to do worse for money, so this seemed like something I could be okay with.
Yeah. Yep.
They could have just put in that they were a liberal arts major, and then we'd been like, oh, yeah, you're dumb.
Oh, yeah, whore, okay. Abysmii.
I can say that. I have a master's degree in medieval history.
You're gonna actually take that as what you said. Okay, cool.
Abysmii making up stuff.
From the post office or something? No, I'll send you the address, but I'd rather not do this through Tinder. You got Click? The fuck is
Kick.
Click?
Click?
Kick.
What are you talking about?
If you don't know what Kick is, then you're not a fucking whore.
I'm not. I've not heard of Kick. What is
Okay,
Kick?
boomer.
Kick. Okay. Kick is the sleaziest shit. Okay. Okay. You meet on a Tinder, and then like for the fucking dirt, if you want to put some dirt in somebody's dirt hole, then you go to Kick.
Jesus.
Okay. Don't get a
man.
Kick.
Okay. The more you know.
See, I thought I was a whore, and then I found out about Kick, and then I was just like, I'm a good Christian Mormon boy.
Yeah.
Much like the ocean, there's always a bigger whore. You got Kick? Or can you give me your number? Kick? What was this? 2011? What the fuck long?
Kick is.
How have I never heard about this?
Kick is ancient.
A boomer Abysmii. We gotta push him for SummerSlam.
Dude, seriously though, I'm such a fucking internet recluse these days. I don't know about this shit.
No, if you don't know about Kick, that's not a bad thing. That just means you haven't been to the.
I'm not saying it's a
underbelly.
bad thing. I'm just like, usually I'll hear about this in some capacity somewhere.
Abysmii prefers FetLife. Okay, so
I prefer ChristianFarmers.com. Thank you very much.
My name's Christian Farmer. Welcome to my hardcore gay porn site.
I like farmers of the Christian persuasion because I fuck with their cornfields and I make all those crop rings, circles. Yeah, that's how we meet.
Abysmii, maybe you can clear this up. When you make crop circles, is that like your interstellar version of like photocopying your anus?
No, but it is a form of graffiti.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. I decided to give him my number instead. You're dumb. And he texted me the address immediately, followed by the address to his house, where I would have to drop off the package. I'm not home right now, but there's a key. What?
The entire purpose of Kick is that way you can like delete Kick and then not give somebody your number.
Yeah. There's many a way to communicate via text that doesn't include giving your fucking number. Twitter GMs, for example.
There's many a way to communicate over the World Wide Web. Abysmii here to teach you.
The internet is a series of tubes.
Yes.
I'm not home right now, but there's a key on the bottom of the blue flower pot near the door. Go inside and put the package on the office table in the living room. Make sure that you lock the door when you go inside the house, and then lock it again when you leave. Okay?
I like how it says on the bottom of the blue flower pot, like it's inside under the dirt.
No, there's a special compartment within the bottom of the blue flower.
Oh.
Yeah.
I grabbed my car keys from the table and wallet and got into my car, putting the address into Google Maps. Got it. I'm sorry, on my way.
I don't think you trust in my Kick profile statement.
God damn it. My phone buzzed as I backed out of my driveway. I'm serious. Lock the door both times, please.
Sort of monster in there, so that they're bringing food to the monster.
I really hope not.
Yeah, that's where my mind goes because that's the dumbest thing I could think of so far.
I like the idea of a monster like at the door in a robe with a cup of coffee, going, "Hey, is that my
what
package?
Do you want?
Is that my package of human hearts?"
No, what if it just?
Fat Albert, what are you doing at this house?
God damn it!
Hey,
I've been on Kick today.
Let me out of the house.
Fat Albert is the cartoon character I just want to fucking die off so bad.
I know Oni Plays did it before us, but it's just such a fun meme. I'm sorry.
Hey, you gotta let me out of the house. I got bitten by a vampire, but I was in the house when it happened, so I can't leave unless I'm invited out. It fucking sucks.
On the very special Halloween episode of Fat Albert.
Oh.
See, I was picturing in my head, I was about to make a joke about, oh, what if it's Hellboy, and then you started doing the fucking Fat Albert, and so I imagined Ron Perlman as Hellboy doing Fat Albert voice.
Hey, I'm gonna punch you today. All right.
The fucked up thing is, I imagine Fat Albert wearing a robe, but he still has his like red shirt on under it because that's just cemented in my mind.
And no pants.
And no pants.
So what part were we at?
Locked
the door both times? Okay.
Yeah, I thought.
I thought that was a little excessive, but I promised him that I would. The house looked abandoned.
By Disney.
It had a broken chain link fence around it, with a small door that was hanging on to dear life. Not onto dear life. It stuck out like a sore thumb, surrounded by houses that were a lot nicer than this one in comparison.
Where is this, Detroit?
Yes.
Inside the house, there was a sign that read, "Abandoned by Disney."
Abandoned by Cosby.
Oof.
And he hasn't given it up
drugs, and then I walked away. I swear I didn't do anything. I just roofied her and left.
God damn it. What if Bill Cosby What if Bill Cosby pulls a Max Landis and says, "My next project's going to be empowering for women"?
Ooh. Ooh.
Melissa
and he's going
McCarthy
to do this from prison?
Yeah, he's doing when he gets out of prison. When he's 95. However old he'd be.
He's going to be dead is what he's going to be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude looks like a fucking pile of shit.
He's gonna get Epstein.
Hey, I'm gonna name names. Oh no, I'm dead.
I'm gonna squeal today.
God damn it.
You here for Jack's shit? I looked up to see a man standing in the open doorway of the house. He took up almost the entire space, his head skimming the top of the door frame. He was huge.
Wait. So the instructions were go to the house, get through the door, lock it upon entering, and then when you drop everything off, lock it upon exiting. But our protector showed up and, like, there's just a dude there with the door open.
Abysmii, this is where they're picking up the package. They still have to bring it to the lock house.
Oh,
come on now. Come on now. Pay attention. We're not doing that much, Fat Albert.
Look,
come
okay. Yes, we are. And number two, my expectations are, like, near the fucking core of the earth because... I'm waiting for this to shit the bed.
That's
the thing.
That's the thing. Nothing bad has happened. Nothing great has happened. The story is fine so far.
Which means it's going to go awful.
You're right. You're right. Our expectations should be low, but I'm trying to get myself out of that mindset and take this where it is trying to take me.
It's really hard for me to do that because today on Twitter, I got the author of one of the No Sleep titles that I screen cap and make fun of.
Yes.
Yeah.
They said, like, hey, don't be too harsh. It was my first story, and I'm by no means a professional. I just said, I'm not remarking on your story's quality, dude. I just make fun of No Sleep because the rules are fucking stupid. And his response is, fair enough. That's it.
Don't say his name, you'll get banned. Okay.
I'm not.
He was huge in height and muscles, and his entire torso was covered in tattoos.
Whoa.
Oh,
Yeah, I guess, I replied, not moving from my spot on the sidewalk. Stay right there, he said. I did. I actually don't think I would have moved if he had asked me to. I looked around and realized that there was no one else on this street.
Oh.
I was a 21-year-old woman.
Called it.
Whammon, alone in the streets. I gripped my car keys.
Would you rather be alone on the street, or would you rather be on the street with people who look sketchy? I mean, having nobody there is like, nobody here, so.
I gripped my car keys. A few minutes later, the man came back out carrying a cardboard box. It was about the size of a shoebox, but stained and damp on some of the corners.
Oh, no.
It's human meat.
No, it's a pair of really smelly shoes, and these guys just are in a circle that passes them around. Sniffing them, and yeah.
That's really embarrassing. I hope nobody finds out. That's why they're not messaging through Tinder.
Yeah.
Also, why not message through Tinder? What's the problem with messaging through Tinder?
Or any other app ever.
It's like some Craigslist shit.
Well, didn't they ban, like, the personal section or whatever?
Yeah, and then that's why they invented Backpage.
Can you open your car? He asked. I opened the trunk, not wanting that inside of my car seats, and he set it in. All right, there you go, he said. Thanks, I replied. I walked around to the driver's side of the car and opened the door. Oh, and one more thing, he said. I looked at him. Watch out, he said. I didn't reply.
Fuck that. That's dumb.
Yeah.
Guys, I have to drop a bomb on you.
Okay.
I have to drop a bomb on both of you. I will all but guarantee that this story will have nothing to do from this point forward, anything to do with sugar daddies. And the entire premise was set up because so the title could be My Sugar Daddy in the title.
And it's going to be... Okay, so the title says Weird Favors, plural. We're going to get a story about the one, and it's going to be nothing fun about sugar daddies asking for weird kinky shit.
It's not a sugar daddy. It's someone you looked up and they gave you a job. I mean, it's not your sugar daddy.
It's only a sugar daddy if they constantly rain money on you. So
in return for some sugar.
And honestly, there's nothing dishonest in titling this. I'm a desperate college student, so I did weird jobs for money.
You could just as easily title this, My Employer Asked Me to Do Weird Things.
But it doesn't catch the eye as much as My Sugar Daddy.
So we are all in agreement that this story is probably going to do nothing, and that the entire reason that this story has gotten upvoted is the fucking clickbait title.
And if that is true, and I do agree with you, I think that's how it's going to go. That's shameful.
And I will say, for anybody listening to this, we are jaded. We are assholes. We're not saying this thinking that we're like bastions of, how to, live your life or anything. It's just a matter of we're jaded and we feel like it's probably going to end up that way. And, oh, man.
We are jaded, cynical assholes, but we are honest. And we are genuine.
Yes.
So, there you go.
The story doesn't need to do anything sexual. It's better if it doesn't do anything sexual. Right. And it's like, I have a guy, a sugar daddy, and when you think sugar daddy, you think sexual. I have a sugar daddy who asked me to do weird things not related to sex. And then that's like, okay, interesting. Then there's no element of like it actually being a sugar daddy, though.
If this was like a weird tie-in to normal porn for normal people,
yes,
as like an homage, I would actually be really okay with that. But we're not gonna. I don't think we're gonna get that. I can't say, but I don't think we're gonna get that at all.
It'd also just be fun because I think a lot of people have jobs that feel meaningless, and it's a thing that you deal with where you have a job where you do something that's repetitive or feels like you're not contributing to society, but you need to do it to make money, and it's better than the alternatives. Like the idea that someone could just pay a gross amount of money to have someone, it's like, okay, I want you to go pick up this box and then take it to this person's house. And it's like, okay. And then they're like, okay, now pick up the box and put it back where it was. And you just fuck with someone. Yeah. That's a story idea I've been plopping around back and forth, and I have an idea of how I could do it, but they're not going to do that.
What if, I know this is not the time for this when we're not even halfway through the story, but what if you had a story where it was like, a girl online gets hired.
She was a girl.
God damn it.
She was online. Can I make it any more obvious?
Can this get any more profitable?
Yeah. Gets a job doing some random meaningless task, right? And it's completely meaningless. It has nothing to do with anything. And then at the end of the story, they realize that was never the intention of it. It's just that the place they were being sent to, to pick up this or to do that or to go to this cafe or go to this place, all the people that she was interacting with, all the guys at these different places, the tedious jobs were just because those were prospective bidders and they wanted to see her in real life.
Yeah.
And it's just like, a secret thing where the guy's like, go to the McDonald's and bring me a burger. And, then she's like, there was some weird fat guy sitting at a table who was leering at me. And then later on you find out all those guys were like, okay, this is where we're going to send her so you can see her in action in real life and see if you want to buy her. And then it's like, oh shit, fuck no.
And that's like, and you wouldn't even have to go that extreme if you didn't want to. There's a great opportunity to just make a lot of scenarios here that are uncomfortable, unnerving, gross. And that's, I think, an area that No Sleep does not tap barely at all. that would actually make for an interesting horror story.
Well, you're not
Okay,
going to
so
get
I
many
need you-
upvotes if you make people actually squirm. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what were you
Okay,
gonna
I
say?
need you to go. I need you to go sit down and watch this person, and then when I tell you to leave, leave for 30 minutes and then come back, and then act surprised.
I want you to stand up. I want you to not take your shirt off, but I want you to kind of roll up your sleeves a bit. I want you to expose the nape of your neck. Okay, now leave again. Like just weird little shit that, you wonder what the fuck.
Abysmii entirely missed the Epstein joke I was making.
Come
Oh,
back
yeah,
surprised.
sorry. I blasted my music as I drove to Jack's house, hoping it would drown out my anxiety. It didn't. I parked my car in the stone driveway and stayed inside the car, admiring the house. It was a huge house with stone pillars on the front porch and the greenest grass I'd ever seen in my life. I turned the car off and got out. I grabbed the package and walked to the front door, getting the key from where he said it would be.
So this is Ray? Is that the one who says, I never knew there was so much green in the universe?
Ray was a massive pot fiend.
Ah.
I opened the door and stepped in, closing it behind me. I thought about what he had said about locking the door when I got inside. I thought that was a little overboard, but as I stared at the closed door, something made me reach out and lock it. Something being, I should probably do this because I got paid $700.
Yeah. This is a person who's broke because they don't take directions well.
I need you to turn in your assignment by 4 p.m. on Thursday. Okay, cool. 6 p.m. on Saturday. Got it.
I want you to write in cursive. Wow, nobody ever taught me that. Oh, well. Oh, well. I walked inside. My stinky, crusty feet cushioned by the thick maroon carpet, and admired the inside of the house. All the furniture was wooden and looked incredibly expensive. I would probably finish school 12 times with the money that it took to furnish this place.
Oh, honey. No.
I set the package down on the coffee table, and as I walked to the back door, I heard the phone ringing from somewhere inside the house. I froze.
The call is coming from inside the house, you guys.
In my pocket, my phone buzzed. I took it out to look. Don't answer any calls that aren't from Marvin.
Wait. Oh, okay. Caller ID. Yeah, never mind.
I'm going to say that this is reminding me of the beginning of a story by Stephen King called Everything's Eventual.
Haven't read
Everything's
that one.
eventual.
Everything can happen eventually.
No, everything's eventual. I'll write anything. I'm a coke fiend.
Anything's eventual. Wait, did I mention
see
I'm a coke
Dr.
fiend?
Sleep.
Dr. Sleep. God
God
damn it.
damn.
All right. So I put my phone back and followed the sound of the phone. Poking my head into a few different rooms before I found it in an office. I walked over to the desk and looked at the caller ID. Incoming call from Jack. That was odd. So who texted her saying don't answer calls from
Jack did.
Presumably Jack.
that aren't from Marvin, but then Jack is calling, so he doesn't want her to answer his own call?
Right.
Yeah, it's like a double fake out bullshit.
Okay.
See, it's a twist.
No.
I grabbed my phone.
It subverted your expectations
Oh my God,
that
it's
you
Marvin
didn't have.
It's Marvin the Martian. It all comes back around.
Uh,
She picks up the phone. You have made me very angry.
I grabbed my phone to look at the message again. I was starting to get a little bit creeped out and decided I wouldn't answer just to be safe, and left the house, remembering to lock the door as I left. I did my fucking job. I actually did the thing that I was supposed to. It was the first time in my life.
Yeah.
I don't know why I felt anxious about doing my job.
Millennials, am I right?
I've done a few more favors for Jack since then. I drove a BMW to a random park in another city, only to get out and drive a different car back to Jack's house. He had me meet one of his employees at lunch, who then gave me a briefcase to deliver to the first house I had gone to, and told me he would know if I looked inside. On several occasions, he asked me to drive down to the same house and stay with the guy whose name was Julio, or Julio, I don't know, for a certain amount of time. In total, I've made around $3,500. Most recent, Jack asked me to stay in his house overnight. I woke up to a text from him. You need to spend the night at my house.
Yeah. I stayed at his house. I got a text saying I needed to stay at his house.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure this out. Like, this person, that's literally what it says, right? Most recently, Jack asked me to stay in his house overnight. I woke up to a text message from him. I need you to spend the night at my house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Top rated story on No Sleep.
So who do we think this is? Jack Nicholson? Jacko? Michael Jackson?
Jack Frost.
Jack Frost, of course. Jack Sprat. He likes her because she isn't fat.
Mm-hmm. I hadn't ever seen him in person, but I had talked to him on the phone a few times. He proceeded to tell me he would pay me $1,000 to spend the night at his house, provided that I followed a few rules. Oh, that's why this is popular. Rules stories are apparently the in trend at the moment.
Well,
I drove to his house that evening. The driveway was empty, and it normally was, but the porch light was on. I walked up and locked the door, went inside, and then locked it again.
everything in the house looked the same. Dun dun dun. Jack had told me over the phone that he would leave the list of rules on the dining room table. I set all my stuff down in the living room. My bags looked like garbage compared to the fancy furniture in there, mainly because I packed all my clothes in garbage bags. What would we call that? What should we call that? North Carolina luggage?
Ooh, that's a cell phone.
I wandered into the kitchen and then to the dining room. Sure enough, there was a piece of paper on the wooden table, held down by an empty glass. I don't like to look at it as an empty glass. I like to look at it as not full.
It's full of air.
Yeah, airful.
Airful.
Airful. Airful.
It was a very airful glass.
All right.
I don't know why I went Swedish Chef on that. Airful glass.
Airful glass.
Lock the door when you come in. Only answer calls from Marvin. Don't turn on any faucets between 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. None of this is going to mean anything for anything. If the answer to this story, the conclusion was, I think a guy just had a fetish of controlling me, then I'm happy with this. But it's not going to be that.
No, it's going to be, hey reader, look at the rules. Pay close attention to all these paragraphs to see if a rule was broken. Isn't this a fun writing exercise?
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
Don't open the door for anyone, no matter who they say they are, after 10 p.m. If the door to the closet at the end of the hall is open, sleep in the library. If closed, sleep in any of the bedrooms.
Bored.
Can you sleep in the closet?
I am bored already.
Are we going to have the police show up after 10 p.m. and you're not supposed to open the door for them?
All I know is that I'm half thinking there won't be an explanation to any of this. Which is
probably, yeah.
Again, I'll put the qualifier out there that can be fine in certain circumstances, but we'll see if it is at the end of this.
The gardener comes at midnight. If he starts knocking on the window, hide. Oh my god.
Just let him stand out on the lawn coming.
This is the fucking script for an indie video game.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
This isn't a story. This is a set of things.
Mm-hmm. Turn the TV on and let it play on static through the night. Do not forget to do this. Help yourself to anything in the fridge, smiley face. I'll pay you in the morning. Good night. I made sure to follow all the rules. To be honest, I was regretting my decision, but seeing as I was already here and I was getting paid, I decided to stay anyway. I figured as long as I followed all the rules, I'd be perfectly fine.
Another interesting twist, which I don't think we'll be getting because of the rules, is, it would be interesting if somebody was being hired to make it look like someone was home when they were out actually doing a crime or something.
Yeah, if this was really big fake out or some enormous amount of manipulation, it would be worth it, but I don't think that's where this is going.
I mean, you could say something like, at 5 p.m., turn on the record player and put on the White Album by the Beatles. And, it sounds all specific and creepy and weird and oddly, but then at the end of it you say, the police report said that, while the door was not open for officers, they heard, the White Album being played, which such and such always listened to at 5, or, Mm-hmm. So they knew he was actually home, but it was her. But, I don't know. Armchair editor, I guess? Is it?
Armchair critic.
Armchair something. All right. Where were we?
Still,
it felt a little odd. What was this? A haunted house? Nevertheless, I lounged around the house for a few hours, as I was planning on going to sleep around 9, since that's the time that all the weird shit would begin to happen. Just casually. Okay.
That is the tech though. Is just like, oh, this is some stupid bullshit. I'll just go to sleep at 9. That's a good strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At 8:50, I brushed my teeth, using the faucet for the last time before 9. I checked the closet in the hallway, and upon seeing that it was open, I moved my stuff to the library and got ready to sleep on the couch. I locked 2 doors just in case. That's all right. It's a typo. Instead of the, it says 2. And laid on the couch, scrolling through my phone. I hadn't gotten any more messages from Jack, and I started to think up scenarios and reasons as to why he had such strict, peculiar sets of rules in this house. I won't tell you any of them. But there were reasons.
It's also fun. They used the word 9 and then they used the number 9.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think the order got messed up, but I'll start reading. I dozed off at some point. Yep, I dozed off at some point. Yeah, no, you're fucking stupid. I dozed off at some point because at exactly 10:16 p.m., I was woken up by the doorbell ringing. I was about to go get up and to check, but then I remembered the rule: don't open the door for anyone, no matter who they are, after 10 p.m. I stayed on the couch, trying not to move, paranoid that they would hear even the slightest sound. Police! It's the police! Open up! Who could have predicted this tragedy?
Hey, so if the house is burning down and the door is being banged on and it says, hey, we're the fire department and we're breaking in, does that matter? I guess not, because the fire department would just break in, but
yeah.
Yes, that's no sane person's going to be like, yeah, I'm going to follow that rule.
I didn't move. Hello, it's the police. Open up or we're coming in. I still didn't move, but I could hear my heartbeat in my ears. There was silence for a while after that. Then the doorbell rang again. Hey, it's Jack. Let me in.
So, I will say that the order got messed up because I wasn't sure who was supposed to go, and then I said, where are we? And you both said where we were. So, okay, anyway.
Doesn't matter. It sounded like Jack, but still I didn't get up. He would have a key, wouldn't he? Why would he need me to let him in? This continued for almost a full hour. Different people would ring the doorbell, announce themselves, and then disappear when I didn't respond. This is a goddamn Channel Zero episode.
It's a comedy. It's a humorous idea if you think about it. Knock, knock, knock. Candygram. Knock, knock, knock. Pizza.
Knock, knock, knock. Church of Latter-day Saints.
Yeah.
I was finally able to fall asleep, and the gardener never came. Why would the gardener come at night? That's weird.
No, when the gardener comes at midnight, dude.
Yeah, but why?
It's the gardener. It's the supernatural gardener.
It's the midnight gardener. When I woke up the next morning, I heard someone in the kitchen. It was Dinah. I got up slowly and unlocked the door as quietly as possible, taking my phone with me and walking across the living room and into the kitchen. I stopped at the entrance and peered in. It was Jack. He was standing in front of the stove, stirring something as the coffee machine brewed coffee on the counter. Well, I'm glad it was brewing the one thing it's meant to do.
You never know. You
could use a coffee machine to make ramen.
Yeah, but why?
Okay, Abysmii has never lived and had hotel ramen.
I know, because I would just feast on hotel soups.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I need ramen? On the counter behind him.
Everybody leave a comment below if you have ever had hotel coffee ramen.
And if you haven't, please just dislike the video. Hey, good morning, he said when he saw me. Hi, I replied, nervous. I hadn't seen him in person before, but he looked exactly like his pictures online, 2-dimensional and square. Scrambled eggs? He was trapped in the negative zone by Superman. Scrambled eggs, he asked, motioning to the pan with a wooden spoon. Yes, they are. No. Yeah, thanks, I replied.
Why would you eat this food from this strange person?
Yeah, thanks, I replied, walking over to take the plate from him. I ate my breakfast and drank some coffee in silence. So how was it? He asked. It was okay. Nothing super freaky happened, or frinky, I replied. Cool, he replied.
There was an awkwardness in the room.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to go now. I have class, I trailed off.
Oh, she thinks she's too good for him.
Ooh.
I have class. You don't. See you later.
I didn't. She didn't have class. But I really wanted to get out of there. Oh, no. Yeah, sure. I'll talk to you some other time, he replied. I grabbed my stuff and he walked me to my car. I could see him standing in the driveway, staring at me as I left. When I got home, I unpacked all my stuff and noticed that I still had the list with me. I sat on my bed and read it again. I felt my body tense up as I realized I had forgotten something. Turn on the TV and let it play static through the night. Do not forget to do this. Turn on the TV and play the static through the night. Do not forget to do this. Do not forget to do this. I stared at the words on the page until they lost meaning.
Well, they didn't have meaning to begin with, but...
No. Beside me, my phone buzzed, snapping back to reality. Oh, the ghost gravity. Spaghetti.
I like the idea of elderly Eminem at like 75 doing a concert and being like, up there goes gravity, up there goes gravity, up he's going gravity, boop, but oh babbity.
Up there goes gravity, up there goes my colon, up there goes...
Up there goes Cindy. Wait, that's not Cindy. Wait, where's my daughter?
Who are you people? Where?
Cindy, his daughter?
Yeah, he's going to have another kid. I don't know his real daughter's name, so.
Yes, I'm sure he will. Oh,
Cindy.
Cindy is Eminem and Rihanna's daughter. I ship it.
All right.
It was $1,000 payment. Apparently, Andrew Yang
God damn it.
got elected in this reality.
That was my UBI payment, but that's not what the story's about.
No, it's not. I looked at my phone, and then back at the list, and then back at my phone, and then back at the list. Maybe it wasn't an important step? You dumb whore.
God
you dumb
it.
whore. As I was thinking this over, a text from Jack came. Okay.
A text from
As
Jack
I was
came
thinking
it.
this over, a text from Jack came it.
Mm-hmm.
I got a text from Jack and phone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not in town right now. I should be back next week, so you're free from running any more errands for me until then. Just sent the payment. Go do something fun, winky face. I stared at the message and read it again and again, and once more for good measure. I'm not in town right now. Finish this off.
I thought back to this morning. Whoops, there goes boring. And how Jack was in his house. How he gave me breakfast. I'm not in town right now. Why wouldn't he tell you this previously?
Because it's not Jack.
Well,
also,
I mean,
that doesn't preclude Jack from leaving town between the time she gets home.
Yeah.
So
within minutes, a new text came in this time from a number I didn't recognize. Did you forget something, winky face? The text was followed by a picture of Jack, or whoever this version of Jack was, showing his dick standing in front of the TV. I didn't respond. Next came another picture. This one was of the outside of my house.
Oh.
It was followed by another text. Watch out.
That's it? That's the top-rated story? Oh my god.
You know why? Because the title
bullshit
says Sugar
title.
Daddy. Because the title says Sugar Daddy. And it's not poorly written. It's not like bad grammar or, many typos. There was a couple. You can read through it and understand what's happening. It's not one of those stories where you're like, what the fuck is going on? It just is kind of like, oh, okay. All right. I guess that's what happened.
I am earnestly surprised there's no part 2 to this, because it's been up for almost a month and nothing. I don't think there's a plan.
Our expectations were so low, guys, and it somehow bottomed out even further.
So, unless there is some explanation to this that we don't understand yet, that maybe at some point will be told to us or we'll realize, where we're like, oh, that's, the meta explanation for this whole scenario, and we're like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Unless there's something like that comes up, it's just a bunch of, don't answer the phone from Marvin.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let the TV man out. If the closet's open, don't sleep in a bedroom, because the closet man will get you in a bedroom, or, whatever. I don't know. It sort of is like a bunch of, what? Okay, I guess. The house is super haunted and has multiple entities that are trying to get out, or something? I don't know.
We often talk about this idea that, in horror, there needs to be rules. You can't just do anything for anything. Yeah, but the rules have to have some sort of meaning.
This managed to take that and make it stupid.
Yes. It went the other direction of like, oh, the monster can just attack you anywhere. I thought there were rules to it. Like, this is the opposite. This is just Like, there are rules, but there's not a story.
So this guy, Jack, set up a
Jack, by the way, who went there in the morning and then could have easily just left town and said, I'll be back next week.
Right.
With the way that this is written.
Right.
Great job.
Jack sets up a Tinder profile. He sets up a Tinder profile looking for a sugar baby, okay? In order to get someone to deliver packages, meet with an employee, sleep at Julio's house, do all these different random things, and then with the ultimate goal of sleeping at his house, where there's a bunch of rules set up and the house seems to be super haunted with an evil reverse Jack that wants to come out into the real world. And then he goes away for a week on the first time he's going to have her do that and watch out for the house. You know, it's like, a lot of this is like, what?
I think the ultimate thing is a guy was toying with me and just is probably a serial killer that has a very, very elaborate, boring, expensive way of killing his marks. Cool.
So there's a comment here, and this is just infuriating. This drives me up the wall. I wonder what was with the closet rule. What could have happened if she didn't go into the library? It doesn't matter. There was nothing.
None of it matters.
None of it matters. Like, don't theorize about a thing that doesn't matter.
Oh.
So, we got this other question. So many questions. What's the new Jack? What is the stuff she has no constantly picking up and delivering? What's with the cryptic rule? Yes, that's the whole thing. We need a part 2, please. Who the fuck is the gardener? No, you can't just fucking... Oh my god.
And if you say the gardener is Julio, you're fucking racist. So we've got another comment here that says, I think this will shed some light on the story for us, guys. I think that we're going about this all wrong, and this will help, direct us in the right direction and see what's going on here. Comment says, so it seems like you were basically a secret smuggler of products, but I also feel like you're actually working for a guy named Marvin, but he says he's Jack. He was basically catfishing you with his twin brother. And his twin brother somehow got a hold of what he was doing and found out about you staying at his house, but only because you forgot to turn the TV static on. Welp, best of luck. That makes less sense to the story.
This subreddit is dumb.
This is proof that you can throw shit at the wall and then people will try and justify it because they're dumb.
It's weird. I go through the No Sleep OOC subreddit sometimes because I do get the rather occasional thread saying, hey, is it just me or are these titles dumb? Or, hey, can we please ban rules-based stories because they're just getting stupid? And there's definitely a segment of No Sleep's readership that must be very unhappy with what the average offering is. Like, we cannot be alone in how disappointing all this is. Oh.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's time for us to set up our own competing subreddit.
Bro sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking you don't know Jack.
There's a lot of comments on this story that have been removed by moderators, by the way.
I wonder why. 900 over almost 1,000 comments.
This is dumb.
Oh my god.
So what were we saying at the beginning of this episode? Because that was a better made-up story than half of the things on No Sleep.
That it would just be a college student made to do weird, uncomfortable shit. That's
I mean the cold open.
Oh yeah, that manslaughter.
Yeah, there you go.
Straight up manslaughter.
You can't spell manslaughter without man's laughing.
This has been the Fear Fiction Podcast. Your hosts are Abysmii, Dead Palette, and Slimebeast. Music by Abysmii. Art by C.F. Comer. Voiceover by Atticus Jackson. Edited by Elias the Intern. Subscribe to Fearfic on YouTube to stay up to date on new episodes.
Well, this is the place. Guess I'll call him now.
Hello, Jill.
How did you know my name? I never gave it to you over Tinder.
I didn't, but you just confirmed it for me.
Wait.
Hi, Jill. My name is Jack. Welcome to Hill Manor. The first thing...
Hold on. I may be a desperate college student who stupidly agreed to take on a suspicious sugar baby role from Tinder that explicitly mentioned nothing about sex, but I'm not naive. When do I get my $700?
Oh, you're a feisty one. So headstrong. Very well. I'll pay half when we complete our little tour of the grounds, and the other half after you spend the night. Deal?
Deal.
Lovely. Now, proceed to the gate. The entry code is 666-13.
Well, those are ominous numbers. Do they hold any significance?
Not at all. I got them from a random number generator.
Okay, I'm at the door. Is there a key?
You'll find the key in the base of an ancient flower pot. There are 4 keys. The one with the skeleton head is for the front door.
What are the other keys for?
Those lead to certain death.
Wait, really? Like this house will kill me?
Not explicitly. Those other keys lead to areas currently under construction or have asbestos.
Okay, well, I'm inside.
I'm only going to say this once, Jill. Whether you enter or exit the house, always lock the door. To deviate from this is to forfeit payment and to otherwise endanger yourself.
I'm sorry, back up. Are you threatening me?
Not at all. This is a dangerous neighborhood at night, and I don't want you getting hurt or my house being robbed.
But your house is so nice. Why is this area bad?
I mean my family, has been here for such a long time. We could move and purchase land elsewhere, but this house has such rich history. We can't stand apart with it. I was born here, raised here, and I will eventually die here.
I locked the door. What next? I can see the living room from here.
Ah, yes, the living room. Most in-house deaths occur in the bathroom or bedroom, but people tend to forget that many a life has been extinguished in the so-called living room. I suppose dying room isn't very welcoming though, is it?
I guess not.
This is where you will be sleeping. Normally I'd offer you one of the guest rooms, but they're all in dire need of cleaning, I'm afraid. Proceed to the kitchen on your left.
Let me guess. Don't touch any of the food?
Oh no, by all means. Help yourself to anything you see or want to prepare, except for the garlic.
Why?
The garlic needs to stay where it is at all times for medicinal reasons. In fact, if you notice the garlic rotting and becoming black, search the pantry and replace it at once.
Sure.
Now the study is to your right. It is to remain locked at all times. I have many projects in there that cannot be disturbed.
So...
The garage is a bloody mess. Don't go in there either.
But...
As I've said before, the guest rooms upstairs, in fact the entire upstairs, are off limits. Do not venture up the spiral staircase.
Hold on.
A gardener will come at midnight. He will knock 3 times. Do not talk to him.
What?
Do not look at the gardener. Do not acknowledge the gardener.
Wait.
Past 10 p.m., do not answer the door on the phone or the telegraph machine or the messaging bells in the clock tower, which is also off limits.
Stop. Okay, stop for like 5 seconds. All these rules, all these hokey requirements. Just be honest with me.
Honest about what, Jill?
Is this house haunted?
What? No, of course not. I don't believe in that sort of thing.
So are you hiding dead bodies behind like all of these doors?
I'm offended you would think that of me. No dead bodies. If there were, you would surely be able to smell them.
Are you a damn vampire hunter?
A vampire hunt? Jill, I'm a highly paid, mega-powerful Silicon Valley tech guru. I'm currently in Mongolia testing a new underground thermal power plant. I just need you to watch over my house until I get back tomorrow.
Oh, so all of these rules are like exist just because you're...
Eccentric?
Whew, well, that's a relief. I thought you were gonna watch me sleep or like ask to smell my feet.
No, that would be weird. Did somebody say smelling feet? Damn it, red flag, I'm on the phone!
Who's that?
No one, money's in the bank, bye!
Mountaintop Motel Madness. Mountaintop Motel Madness. Mountaintop Motel Madness is a 80s
truck, a
horror
monster
picture.
truck rally. Okay, good.
It's a horror film I watched last night with Paprika and some friends, and it's actually pretty fun, and I think everyone should go watch it for this Halloween season.
Mm-hmm.
If you like 80s horror, go do that.
Mm-hmm.
Buddy,
What?
it's November.
Fuck. Well, watch it anyway. I don't know what month it is, and Slimebeast doesn't know what day it is.
Yeah,
So none of this
I
matters.
just didn't know what time it was. Actually, I didn't know what time you guys said it was. But so
to both of you, you should know what month it is because Elias in the chat just laid out our itinerary for this month and what we're plugging when.
Yeah, but this week contains both October and November in it. So, in my defense, it could be either month.
Who cares what Elias says?
That's true.
I don't read anything Elias says.
I'm really frustrated that we had to have that meeting about him potentially secretively cooling his stale ginger ale.
Yeah, we could lose our funding for that.
Yeah. Our
Like Big
fundamentalist
Mormon.
funding. Yeah.
Not a fan of it.
Mm-hmm. By the way, Abysmii, you said you watched this with Paprika and friends?
Mm-hmm.
When can we look forward to that morning talk show? Paprika and friends?
I just imagined Abysmii with the VHS tape, and it's a funny box art, and I just imagine him snorting paprika off of it.
God damn it. Hey, Abysmii, ever give Paprika a good snort?
Suppose once or twice.
Huh.
She wasn't a fan of it.
What's the name of the movie again? Because nobody listening to this will remember at this point.
Mountaintop Motel Madness.
Hey, they'll leave a light on for you.
Wacky waving inflatable flailing arm tube man. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It does not run off the tongue well.